nerdy news time.
Yes. Been quite a
So,
week of nerdy news.
yes, and it's been a bit all over the place with the nerdy news.
Yeah.
First and foremost,
Good
Percy
news.
Jackson has been picked up for a second season
Not
after
much of
being
a
the
surprise.
yeah, and that is after being the first show on Disney Plus to put up comparable numbers to a Star Wars or Marvel project.
I'm telling you, book fandoms go hard.
Yeah, they do, especially ones that have been starved for years.
Yeah. Like,
Um, we knew it had done well just based on what
yeah.
we were seeing, but you never know until you get the raw numbers. For Disney to come out and in like the press release announcing it, they went, "This is the first thing on Disney Plus that has even got close to our major franchises of Star Wars and Marvel." Um, there's clearly a first for this. We're going to keep on pursuing it. We want this to go on for a long, long time,
Mhm.
and we're not going to spare any expense.
That's what you love to hear. And
Like,
hopefully they give it a bit more freedom now to do like
yes,
length of
give
seasons and
us
whatever they want.
give us the 12 episodes. People watched it and they weren't ecstatic about it. You want this to last for a long time? Listen to the fans. They want
Yeah.
the 12 episodes. They don't want you to rush things. Do it right. And you'll see the benefit of it even more so.
Yeah.
Um The Marvels has launched
Mm.
on Disney Plus.
Yes, it
And
has.
and Twitter seems to be changing its opinion on it.
No.
So I have a real question here, and I try not to get annoyed about this because I know Twitter always changes its mind. And it's not bad to change your mind, but it's such a hive mentality. When something's not great, it's dog shit.
Yep.
And then eventually just everything comes full circle. It's
Yep.
crazy. I dislike it. This is a really bad one for me though, because the amount of people I've seen tweeting going, "So I watched the Marvels on Disney Plus. Why didn't you tell me it was this good?" Motherfucker, we were telling you. We were
Yeah.
screaming that it was good. We sat here and we went, "You're doing yourself a disservice by not going to see it in the cinema." Stop letting people, and this goes for us as well. Stop
Mm.
letting people on the internet tell you if something is good or bad.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, go
Now,
see. I think an issue as well is like people are so stuck in they've been burnt a little bit by some Marvel projects not being as good. So they're like, oh, Marvel's fallen off. Don't care about Marvel anymore. And then because it's not like this raving, like internet sensation of them talking about the Marvels, like, yes, there was the fans were saying it was good, like us. But because it wasn't like Barbenheimer level of the internet talking
yeah,
about it, they don't listen. And then it's like, oh, that Marvel's film's on Disney Plus. Should we watch it? And then they watch it like, oh, this was really good. Marvel's still good. And it's like, yes, like Marvel's still been doing good stuff. But
it's one of these things where it is obviously completely normal for your opinion to be colored by stuff you listen to. Like that's the
mhm,
big fear about elderly people, and I mean just your parents who just use Facebook all the time and they don't validate the information they get, and
yeah,
then they'll say something you're like, that is not true at all. Where the fuck did you hear that? So I get the idea that like you go on Twitter, you just see loads of people ragging on the film, you're like, fine, I won't go see it. But it seems to be that people don't look at who's saying it. So like
yeah,
when I'm trying to make a decision about something I don't have as much knowledge on, I like have a content creator
mhm,
news source that I trust about that topic, and I use that to color my opinion slightly,
yeah,
and then I go get a secondary and a tertiary, and then if I'm still on the fence, I try and do my own research.
yeah,
When it comes to films, I actually don't engage with that much film content anyway because I'm a bit set in my ways for better or worse. But I'm then kind of like, okay, I want to go see this film. I see everyone going, oh, it's going to be terrible, this, that, and the other. I'm like, cool, I've already decided I'm going to go see it. I don't care. And
mm,
then I make my decision. I do not want anyone ever to see that we've disliked something and then solely based on that side, they're not even going to give it a chance.
yeah. I I think people too quickly like just listen to what a couple of people with a lot of followers might say, and then like, ah, this is the opinion of the internet.
Yeah.
There we go.
Like, my my sister, God bless her, she loves watching films.
Mm.
She does. But she will watch any old shit. I couldn't do it. But she'll sit there and she'll I quite like that. And I'm there and I'm like, I've watched that film. That film is god awful. But fair fucks to her. She doesn't let people saying, oh, that film's awful. Just wait. She's like, well, I'll watch it and decide myself.
Yeah.
Be my sister. Just don't give a fuck. If you want to watch it, just watch it. If it ends up being shit, cool. It's still an experience. I just don't understand these people who just live and die by random people on Twitter. Because a lot of the people on Twitter, I know for a fact, said, oh, it's shit, don't go watch it, were just regurgitating what they heard someone else say, and they hadn't even watched it themselves.
Yeah, Twitter is definitely the worst for it, by far.
Yeah.
But I will
also,
say...
it's important to support media in the cinema.
Yeah.
Because, and I saw a clip about Matt Damon talking about this. Films don't make as much money now, and films are more black and white success or a failure because DVD is dying.
Yes.
DVD is dying because of streaming services. So what they used to do was they used to go, right, 100 million budget, 50 million in market, and that's 150 million before you break even.
Yep.
Make 100 million at cinema, you're still 50 million negative, but 6 months' time, when it comes to DVD, you're going to make another 100 million on DVD sales. You're going to end up 50 million positive. That is tidy.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah.
And on top of the DVDs not being sold anymore, you get it released on streaming services a month after it's out of the cinema, which means the people are less inclined to go to the cinema because they don't have to wait as long.
Yeah.
The amount of films I went to see in the cinema when I was younger, and I'm not even that old. Like, I'm getting old, but I'm not that old. That I would go to see in the cinema, and then 6 months later when it came on DVD, because my dad, God bless his soul, he cherishes physical media. He's better than me for it. I need to be better at getting physical media. We've got such a wham DVD collection. He'd go out there, he buys it, and I'd go and we'd watch it again straight away. Because I hadn't seen it in 6 months. I'd not been able to see it in 6 months.
Yeah, that's like the amount of times I remember I'd go see a film at the cinema in the summer, because often lots of summer releases, and then I'd ask for like all the DVDs because they'd be out for Christmas. And it's like, then you get to watch them all again, like 6 months later. Yeah. It is an issue. I think streaming can, with the new deals and stuff, I do think streaming can get to a point where like it helps monetary wise the same as DVDs did, but they need to stop releasing it immediately after the cinema, because you're hurting cinema, which is then hurting your own revenue. And then you thinking, oh, well, that was a bad film, we shouldn't do that again. And then we're getting, they're just hurting themselves by trying to cut corners on themselves. It's so...
I promise you, if they put a film in the cinema, they say it will be in the cinema for a month. 6 months after it finishes its run in the cinema, DVDs come out. 6 months after it's come out in stores to buy, it goes on streaming services. I guarantee you they make more money that way. And not just the company that owns the rights, but obviously movies, cinema theaters are going to make more money. The people who stock and buy DVDs and sell DVDs are going to make more money. It helps fund the economy. Rich people hoarding money for themselves staggers the economy.
Yeah. I mean, there was a time where it was like digital release was like a month before DVD, if that. And it'd be like, oh, digital is this, and then it's out on DVD at the end of the month. Why they don't just go back to that and go like, I don't know, 5 months later it comes out on streaming, and then within the month after that, you can get it on DVD.
Do you know what I think the best iteration was for a little while? It was when DVD came out. If you pre-ordered the brand new DVD, you got a digital code for it as well.
The digital codes, I remember them.
Yeah, so you would go out, you'd buy your brand new DVD, but guess what? If you didn't want to put the DVD in the DVD player, here's the digital code so you can watch it. Yeah. Or like if you pre-ordered it, they'd send you the digital code so you could watch it straight away, and then you'd get the DVD in like 3 weeks' time.
Yeah.
Even going back to something like that would help so much.
Yeah, they just need to just wait. Just stop doing it like a month after, that's all.
Because it comes on to what I'm going to make our next point about digital media not being protected. Funimation.
Yes.
the second biggest anime platform
Yep.
was bought by Sony, who
Uh-huh.
owns Crunchyroll.
Yeah.
Sony are now shutting Funimation. Crunchyroll are taking like the guts of it, all of the rights to everything. So people who bought digital versions on Funimation are losing access to their digital versions they paid for, which means they never truly owned it.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, Crunchyroll are like doubling their subscription price.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a messy situation, really, because it's like, so when Crunchyroll announced that they were like going to merge with Funimation, obviously anime fans were very happy. They're like, oh my god, we love how Crunchyroll is set up. It's very easy to use and convenient, which is what everyone wants from a streaming service. We can now get even more of our content. It's all going to be in one place. Cool. Then, like, as the details have come out now about this merger, what once was, yeah, the stuff on Funimation you'll keep, they're going, yeah, no, that's not being transferred over. Which my prediction is, everything comes back to a cost thing. They just don't want to fork out the cost to put the infrastructure in on Crunchyroll to figure that out, who owns certain shows and who doesn't, because there isn't like that isn't already on Crunchyroll. And then the price thing, I know they're going to reason it as well. You're getting twice the content, so the price needs to go up. And it's like, yeah, I get your point, but like to just double it is rough. And some people go, well, it's about the same as a normal streaming platform now after it's doubled. It's like, yeah, okay. Now my collection of streaming services are going to cost even more. People are already like stopping getting like, they'll drop Netflix because they have Disney Plus and Prime, or like they'll suddenly, like, your anime fans are going to be like, well, goodbye Netflix, goodbye Prime. Like, I only need Crunchyroll now.
At the end of the day, and I don't know, maybe I'm going to get called a communist in the comments for this.
Okay.
Anyone like myself who works a full-time job should be able to eat, sleep in a place that is their home,
Mm.
and be able to afford some level of entertainment without
Mm-hmm.
having to worry about anything should be the fucking bare minimum. It's 2024.
Yeah.
I should be able to go and work my job, no matter what fucking job it is, for a full week and do that and know that I don't need to worry about food when I get home, don't need to worry about heat when I get home, and I can sit down and watch whatever. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that everyone should necessarily have so much money that they can afford every single streaming service on like the highest tier. Do I think that maybe we should be able to put people in that position? Yes. But I'm not necessarily saying we have to go that extreme with it. But
Yeah.
if you're an anime fan, you should be able to afford that without having to, like, I don't know, eat like shit.
Yeah.
Like, come on now. It's getting to the point, and it's been the joke for a few years now, but we're getting back to where we were before streaming services. And in some cases, it's now more expensive.
Yeah, it's getting back to like cable prices and like
Yeah.
Sky price. Here's my thought. It's like the more sensible option, which they won't want to do because it's potentially less money for them and whatever. It's like, cool. You want to merge Funimation and Crunchyroll into one place. Do that. But then give subscription options of, I just want to subscribe to the Crunchyroll catalog or just the Funimation catalog. Because, like, for me, I don't know what's in the Funimation. Maybe there is some stuff in there that I want to watch, but there might be nothing in there. And it's like, well, I'm paying for all this content that I don't actually care for. You should let people pick their catalogs and just have it as, if you want both, yeah, you pay double the price. If you want just one of them, you keep the lower cost. And when they merge content, you should keep it as like options.
And this was the beauty of Funimation, based on what I understand. I never subscribed, but if you didn't want to pay the subscription for everything, you could buy the show you wanted to watch. Brilliant. Except now you're losing access to that forever. And that means anything that you have bought digitally can just be taken away from you in an instant. And if it can just be taken away in an instant with no repercussions, you never really owned it.
Yeah. It's definitely opened up a bigger issue
Like, I'm not saying that buying an anime is the same as buying a house. I get they're fundamentally different, but the logic remains. Imagine you buy your house, you put your deposit down, you never miss a payment, and then just all of a sudden the bank goes, "No, we're actually merging with this other bank, and this bank wants the house."
Yeah.
They can't do that.
Well, it's
Yeah,
like
and I get it's fundamentally
a
different, but at the
better
same time,
example.
why is it different?
A better example is like, oh, our bank's merging with another one. That savings account, which all your money was digital,
Yeah,
you have a new account over here, but you don't get to keep anything that was in it.
yeah.
It's like,
It,
excuse me?
how is it legal? I will be honest. I'm sitting up here on my high horse. I'm not good enough at preserving physical media,
Yeah, I've fallen
and
off from it.
I've been aware that it's a problem and it's something I want to rectify. This has been a massive wake up call for me. To see something like that on such a large scale that doesn't even directly affect me, I'm like, right. If there is something you love, if there is a TV show you love, if you're a massive Office fan, buy the Office box set, protect it. And I know there are services that allow you to host your own server, either via the cloud or locally, where you can take DVDs and only stuff you, of course, own privately, and you can rip it from that and upload it to the server for
Yes.
you. So, if you still want to watch it via a streaming service, maybe do something like that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you could still lend your DVDs to your friend then, and you'd still have access because that is completely fucking legal.
Yeah.
Just something to consider, people. We're gonna go on to a bit of Fantastic Four news here.
Okay.
So Matt Shakman, I'm never sure how to pronounce his last name, who is of course directing Fantastic Four.
Yes.
Shared a post on his Instagram story.
Okay.
About the rumors that Pedro Pascal was getting ready to start filming Fantastic Four.
Yes.
So that seems to me, maybe I'm being crazy here, to confirm Pedro Pascal was Mr. Fantastic.
I feel like at this point, if he isn't, they are going to make a lot of people pissed and essentially will just ruin the chances of Fantastic Four. Because it's at the point now where, like, if this was just they're letting it run, they've kind of letting it run too long if it's not true. And it's like, if you turn around and go, oh, he isn't fantastic, we never said he was Fantastic Four, people are going to be, one, pissed at Pedro Pascal that he didn't come out and say publicly, no, I'm not doing that. And then they'll also be just pissed at Marvel as like, well, why the fuck did you let us think he was? And now you've got this other person. And then it'll just be a whole, well, Pedro Pascal was a better cast. So I think we are fair in assuming that this is true.
Yes. I would be amazed at this point if it isn't Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need to find out the rest of the cast. Like, here's the thing with the Fantastic Four, in my opinion. One casting can be great, but if you've got the 3 other people wrong, it throws off everything. You've got to cast them as a unit of 4.
Yep.
So I need to see the other castings before I know if it's good casting. Do I think Pedro Pascal can be a brilliant Mr. Fantastic? Yes, absolutely. He's a brilliant actor. But it's only a good casting if it looks and feels right.
The squad needs to be right
with the other 3.
Yeah.
And I genuinely, like, there's not many I'm like with castings that it's about the group. Fantastic Four is very much, there are loads of brilliant actors who could play any of them roles, but they've all got to line up and be the right 4.
Yeah.
So
no,
hopefully
you're right.
we get a bit of information for sure about who the others are soon, and then we can start to work out how good we can be eating. Because I'm so ready for a good Fantastic Four adaptation. I don't know if I can take another bad one.
Fingers crossed.
I don't know if I've got it in me. We do unfortunately now have to move on to some sad news.
Yeah, there's a couple of bit of sad news.
Yes. So on the set of the Marvel show Wonder Man, A crew member has tragically passed away after an accident where they fell
Yeah,
from
from
the
rigging.
rafters.
Yeah.
Really just terribly sad. It's really, really sad, obviously, when anyone passes away, especially in an accidental situation.
Mm.
And it really sucks. I hate doing the whole thoughts and prayers bullshit that you see people do a lot of the time, but I do hope that his family are okay. I hope that Disney and Marvel are going to do anything they can to help them.
Yeah, and I hope like any of the crew that probably worked quite closely with this person, like they're looked after, made sure they're okay. Because like if it's someone that they've been working with as a crew for a while and it's like a unit, situations like this is very sad, obviously.
Yeah. No one should ever have to go to work and not come home,
Yeah.
and it's just really, really sad. So make sure you say "I love you" to your loved ones today.
Hmm.
Carl Weathers,
Yes.
best known for his roles as Apollo Creed in the Rocky films.
Hmm.
He was a character in the Predator films, not that I've watched them.
Yep.
And of course, more recently, he was in Star Wars,
Yep.
in The Mandalorian.
Hmm.
Has sadly passed away at the age of 76.
Yeah. I mean, obviously 76 nowadays is still kind of young.
Yeah,
Um,
you're completely right. In the modern age, 76 is still almost a bit of a surprise.
yeah,
Um,
it's
it's
a
really
shame.
crazy because he's an absolute icon.
Mm,
And when you look at the period of time he was coming up in these blockbusters like the Rocky films and the Predator films, he will have absolutely inspired a generation of black actors.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Um, Obviously, I adore him as Apollo Creed. Um,
Yeah.
my personal favorite role of his was in Happy Gilmore.
Oh, I don't know if I can
Um,
remember that.
he played the coach with the wooden hand.
Oh, I think I vaguely do remember
Yeah,
that.
I think he's absolutely brilliant in that. But yeah, just watching the outpouring of love for all of his performances over the years, it's always a bittersweet thing. You never want to have to see everyone talking about how much they loved an actor,
Mm,
but it's always nice to like instead of it just be this big cloud of sadness, everyone kind of sit down and go, "Yeah, Apollo Creed was a fucking boss. Like,
yeah.
what a character!" And he is so effortless with it. He was an absolute athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so very, very sad. Um, and I
Yeah.
hope his family's all okay. And thank goodness for them great immortalized performances in such big
Oh yeah.
things, so that we can always go back and look fondly.